Hello everybody, this is Adam with Transparency Pro, the Game Machine, bringing you a topic video for this Tuesday. I'm trying to re-record it because I don't think the one I originally recorded went well, and this is about a topic that was kind of picking up steam last week. There was a lot of JRPG announcements, and even games like Child of Light came out this week, which is not made in Japan, but is a very JRPG style. And so a lot of people have been asking the question, are JRPGs coming back from the dead? And the thing is, no, they've never been dead in the first place. It's just people have lost interest in the JRPG. Back in the day, JRPGs were at first not a very popular thing. Then, with games like Final Fantasy VII come out, it became huge, massive. Everybody wanted to play these games, and its popularity of the JRPG continued on into the PS2 era, and then slowly people became less and less interested. By no means did that mean that the JRPG died, because we got games like Xenoblade, The Last Story, Lost Odyssey, a game I wish I had finished. Of course, the Persona games, Persona 3 and 4, to be specific, and just many others. Tales series, for example, the Tales of series has become quite popular. In a way, it's kind of almost taken over the popularity, I think, of what Final Fantasy used to be, at least in the JRPG culture. Of course, Final Fantasy name still has a lot of power, a lot of influence, but I see more people get excited over Tales games than they do Final Fantasy games. So, I guess that really just begs the question, why is there all this talk of the JRPG being dead? I mean, even when Xenoblade came out and things like that, people were like, JRPGs are coming back, and I don't think I've even talked about this once before, but really, the JRPG's never been dead. It's just never been popular. Things nowadays like Gears of War, Mass Effect, Skyrim, those are all popular. In fact, the games like Skyrim and Dragon Age and things like that, those games to me, mechanically, are not that interesting. I really try to get into Mass Effect because it actually did seem genuinely interesting, and I'm sure there's a lot really good to it, but I just couldn't get past I just, for some reason, didn't like the gameplay of the first one, so I just really had a hard time getting past it, and I got stuck in a lot of places, so it's just, so I'm not going to hate on that game, but, I mean, yeah, seriously, though, and a lot of people do complain that the JRPG itself, they just kind of have the same stereotype over and over, and it's just like, well, when you really think about it, Western games have the same thing. It's always about a man, really strong man, maybe a woman, usually a dude, really buff, shoots things, maybe makes a grunting noise once in a while, or he's stylish, he's dashing, he's, like main character in Mass Effect, Commander Shepard, usually somebody that you're like, okay, cool, I want to be like him, he's badass. Those kind of characters. And yeah, JRPGs do have their tropes as well, with the character with the spiky hair, or they always whine a lot, but even so, I think JRPGs do have more creative and inventive worlds. But I do think that it's just really a thing of culture when it comes to stuff like this, because JRPGs are something I'll always play and enjoy, even though I don't have the time to finish most of them. But the thing is that JRPGs, I just really have to say, have not died. They have not gone anywhere. It's just people are now taking a notice, especially like games like South Park Stick of Truth, and Western developers are taking their hand at it. And I was watching a video, which I found interesting, that they mentioned that JRPG is now really considered more of a style, and to be honest with you, I kind of agree with that. While a lot of Japanese RPGs from Japan, of course, are technically made in Japan, therefore they are a Japanese RPG, but you look at a game like Dark Souls 2, which is a very Western-influenced style game. It doesn't really look or feel Japanese whatsoever, and that may appeal to a lot of people in the mainstream because maybe they're not into the Japanese kind of stuff, but there's games like that, and, they're trying their hand at it, so who's to say that, what they're doing isn't really a Western RPG, and I kind of thought about that statement, and it kind of makes sense that, the Western RPG style and the Japanese RPG style are actually just styles. Like the person in this video, and I'll link the video below. I don't agree with this statement about the Japanese RPG being dead, but yeah. But yeah, like Belgian waffles have to be made in Belgium, or French fries could only be made in France. So, I kind of see the point of it there. I mean, technically it's not a true Japanese-made RPG, but yeah, I kind of can see that, because that's usually how most people can identify with it. but yeah, so that's pretty much my thoughts on it. And basically, I think when it comes down to it, I think if people become more open-minded and actually are willing to look, they will find some really fantastic Japanese RPGs. Even I guess even some of the Western stuff will, of course, kind of float more to the surface. But the more Japanese type RPGs that are actually made in Japan, that are JRPGs, I think if people actually are willing to take a look and actually seek it out, I think they'll find some really amazing titles. Like, if it wasn't for a friend of mine, I would never have discovered the Persona series, or even the Tales series. So, it's one of those things, like, people just really need to be on the lookout. And it's okay to not always have to play Last of Us. It's always okay not to, worry about the next Call of Duty or BioShock. It's okay to play that game with the really weird character with the big eyes that goes, hi. But anyways, so guys, let me know what you think. Is the JRPG dead? Is it coming back? Are these people smoking reefer? Let me know in the comments below. Till next time, game on.